Okay, so today on our first impromptu episode of the Gorilla Squadcast, we are not only featuring myself, of course, but also the boy and the man, Don Lemon himself, Elijah Illustrates Podcast. That's his full name. Look it up. And also, of course, we have original zesty sauce from Chipotle. Thank you for being here. And also known as Brandon Szymanski, also known as descendant of a very particular person from World War II. So, gentlemen, I'd like to thank you for being here today. We are here to discuss Batman, the new Batman movie. And
I'm going to do this. I'm going to do the thing people do when they land in a plane, just clap. Just before we get into this, we're doing this live. We're doing video as well. Yeah, it's a gorgeous time in human history.
Thank you for having me, Fat Boy. I appreciate it.
It's amazing how you're no longer a human. You just turned into a piece of cloth with lettering and a symbol on it.
Yeah,
that's what I do.
Pretty impressive. You know, Brandon Savitsky from Russia. Tell me about why Putin is doing what he's doing. Okay.
Listen, Putin.
All right, so I don't know why you're answering. I didn't fucking ask. You're just interjecting in the middle of the fucking
conversation. A short answer. You're just like, well, you see, the whole dichotomy of Russia is really complex, and I just, shake and bake in the morning. Really, Putin forgot to get his energy booster butter. Yeah.
Energy booster butter. Yes. All right, so this is, again, just to reiterate and recap, we're going over Batman today. This is the very first episode of the Gorilla Squadcast that is live action, as well as, of course, on digital fronts. Right. So, I wanted to open up, gentlemen, by saying thank you for being here. Brandon, this is your first time being on the Gorilla Squadcast. Welcome. You are a zany individual. A Nordic cunt, if you will, right? Or Scandinavian prick, as Elijah Illustrates Podcast would mention.
That's my favorite insult of all time. That's a rabbit hole, but that's the best thing.
I go by like a one Nordic god, but there one was by.
I can't hear you, young man.
So do I.
Just see your beard.
He's just like
Babauska, labidi labidi.
Brandon,
what do you mean you can't hear me?
It's a little hard to hear you, my man.
Oh.
You want to just talk closer to your microphone? Just implodes with the fucking
jumps down. Oh.
All right. So,
I know how to get him back.
Oh wow, you got me.
It works.
Wait. I can get his attention.
Welcome. See it work.
Yeah, you like that? Yeah, get that.
We know how to get
chase
you.
It. Chase the laser.
I could see the fucking red light reflect off of his face. How are you doing
laser.
that?
All you had to do the laser. Do the laser.
The last man that did the laser with me. Anyways, Batman.
Yeah, so Batman, gentlemen.
What about it?
So, I know that we all happen to have had the same plan and mindset to see it separately, and then we all talked yesterday. We were like, yo, wait, did you see Batman? Did you see Batman? And I'm like, well, I'm going to see it right now. And so everybody's like, it's Batman time. And so,
who saw it first?
I don't know who did. Who saw it first?
Brandon.
Between you two. Brandon?
Because I saw it before you did on the same day, and then Brandon at that point had already seen it, so he must have been first.
Yeah, I definitely was first then. Yeah, I saw it on opening day.
No.
Brandon's just getting shot down like a fucking nuke today.
We're trying to prevent nuclear war, so that's how that happens.
I'm sorry, Brandon. I didn't mean to abuse you on my podcast this time.
It'd be that way sometimes. I'm new, so it's fair.
Okay.
That's true.
Listen,
that's true.
Brandon, your eyes. Thank you.
Yeah,
all right.
Look at those beautiful blue eyes right there. They look like the ocean that the Viking traversed to go fight the Native Americans.
They did.
Ruin their lives.
Also took on,
Yep.
They also took on the Russians and the Poland people as well. They definitely fought them too.
We don't really talk about 1942 to 45 or whatever. Sorry, 39 to 45. We don't talk about that.
Yeah, you don't talk about numbers, James Hudson.
Yeah. So anyway,
you don't talk about numbers.
You should be using that and not swinging it around.
Yeah, so it's falling off. I gotta fix that.
Yeah, mine does
Can
that too.
I have
Okay.
one of those?
I do the twisty. So, gentlemen, I saw it last night as well, in addition to you guys, and man, that was the best Batman movie I've ever seen in my entire life.
And
Hands
you
down.
thought James Patterson was going to be a really bad one, but here we are.
James Franco, yeah.
Yep.
James Hudson was
Dude, I was so
Batman.
confused. Like, who's James Patterson? I'm like, wait a minute.
No, he was great.
Like, is
and,
that the name of the Riddler? What?
and I actually brought my date to see it, and she's not very into like superhero stuff.
Who's your date? What was
I'm
your
not
Yeah, who's
going
your
to
date,
ever
big
discuss
guy?
that publicly,
Here we
but
go.
thank you.
Ooh,
So I
I
brought
bet
my.
she's got a temple.
The
Ooh,
real take.
ooh.
Did you even watch the movie, or were you too busy?
Yes, Brandon. Brandon, you look like
He was watching
an
something.
upside down ice cream,
Showing.
strawberry ice cream cone. Okay,
I am. That's me.
that's me.
You-
So,
James, let
What
me
do you
ask you
think-
something.
What do you think the girl that was joining me at the movies was focusing on?
the movie.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you walked into that.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's nice. Guess who I saw it with? A guy I didn't know who sat a couple of rows down from me, who kept fucking snoring. For some reason, this guy was breathing abnormally the whole film, and I just kept looking over at him.
Listen, I told you to let the man masturbate in peace, but you're just like, no, let me rave about him.
Yeah, no, this guy's 2 seats down from me, and you're saying he's masturbating? And
If he
I'm the
wants to
bad guy?
masturbate at the Batman movie, let him masturbate. Damn. It's free
Well,
country.
you know, that's cool. Just masturbate at least 3 seats down from me.
Well, maybe he wanted you to watch, maybe he likes he's a voyeur, he likes
Well, no, I'll tell you what he likes, okay? At the very end of the film, okay?
Discounts
at
at
the
Lazy
very
Boy.
end. Do you know what he said? No, better than Lazy Boy Discounts. Shout out. This man, the second the credits rolled in, the second the movie ended, you know what he said?
He said Bob's Home Furnishing is what he said.
Close. He said Batman. He said Batman. I looked at him. I'm like,
That's
To be
what-
fair, it is Robert
That is what
Pattinson.
you
I
went
could
to
see
go
why
see.
he was beating off in the theater, right? So
you know, and I hope that guy's okay, because I certainly breathing abnormally. I just, because, sometimes people make noise during the film and they're not understanding how loud they're coming across, but I was genuinely concerned at point, or if he's just trying to be funny, or what, he was by himself, and then I'm like, maybe he's special needs, because there was just so much going on with this guy, but that doesn't take anything away from the film. In fact, it adds to it, because Robert Patterson.
What is happening? Oh, there you are. Hello.
Yeah, no, froze. Oh.
Ah,
Hello.
sorry, gentlemen, we had some connection issues here, but we are back.
So, is it communication, or are we just not are we having relationship issues now? Like,
I mean,
maybe I need to
sometimes-
express myself better so that you don't feel isolated.
It's been a hard journey. No pun intended.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it also could be, maybe if you weren't so ugly, it would help.
Says the man that is a strawberry ice cream cone. Okay, at McDonald's.
say, I
ice
don't
cream
know.
machine broke. Okay.
Women love
Which one
strawberry
is he
ice cream.
addressing?
I don't know what
Are we
you're
both
talking
ugly? What?
Yeah.
Brandon's very judgmental.
What do you mean, yeah?
Because he lives in that space. It's a contest for him.
Hey, love strawberry ice cream.
Brandon,
He's like, I'll run with it. That's something
but
about
it's
Brandon I admire.
Hey, you are what you eat. Ice cream is
So I just want to point out, gentlemen, I wasn't sure going into this how much I would appreciate it, because I know everyone's saying that this is on cue, or on par rather, with the Dark Knight trilogy, and I'm thinking, okay, this movie's got to be phenomenal. Sitting through the theater, that first opening sequence, and I'm sure this is what we're going to go into spoilers, I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
Are we
So we're
doing a
spoilers.
war?
Perfect.
Well,
Okay,
Spoiler,
so
warning,
warning.
though. Yeah, spoiler warning right now.
I was
If
gonna
you're
say,
listening, you're watching, and you have not seen the movie and you are planning to, get the
Yeah,
fuck
cut
out
that
of
out.
here. Get out of here.
Just leave. Get out the window. Come on.
Climb out
Before
the
the
fucking
penguin
window.
shoots you. Before
Yeah, he's
Falco
gonna- he's
gets
gonna-
you. Ah!
He's gonna fucking blast you, man. It's fucking crazy. It's chaos.
That's
out here.
right.
It's
That's
fucking
right.
Ridiculous.
Hey. Shout out. Bruce Wayne's dead.
Wow. Okay. So, I really like what they did with that. I'm not really a comic book nerd like that. I don't know all the details about shit. I'm not. I don't know all the details about shit, but I watched a video and I found that apparently this movie had taken a lot of inspiration from alternate Batman timelines and stories, and
True.
implemented that, which was pretty cool. So that's all I knew about it. I watched a spoiler-free review by Angry Video Game Nerd before I went to go see it, and he loved it, of course.
But
And,
he was still doing videos.
yeah, he is. Yep.
Right.
Yep. So, yeah, man. All right. So now that Eli. So I'm sorry. Go right ahead. So you were jumping right into something. So what was it you were?
Oh no, that's cool. I was just gonna say like,
No, I think I think your point was made.
Well, actually, I had a different point. I have two pencils, two different points.
Yeah, go for it.
So basically, I was just sort of, I'm watching it, and then you have this nice kind of dark, kind of eerie narration going into it, very Watchmen vibe, and I was okay. I was on board with it, and then I really liked how that opening sequence took place, where you see that gang of people, and they had the corpse face paint on. Although I do think it's an homage to the Joker, just a subtle Easter egg,
yeah,
right? And I like the way they acted because I felt like it seemed authentic. Like I'll be honest, if I was in the subway and I saw those guys there, I would feel uncomfortable. I'd be like, oh, okay, bunch of dudes acting really rowdy, just mental note.
I'd be too busy masturbating.
That too, but see, get home at least first, right?
Get home at least first.
As you do on the subway.
As you do in the movie theater.
As you do.
Yeah, that too.
Just. Yeah. You and the guy who sat next to me would have a lot in common. In fact, how do I know? I didn't get a good look at him, but how do I know he's not you?
Yeah, that's a good point. Exactly. Yeah, Brandon, does he know that's not you?
Does he
You
know?
say you live in South Connecticut, but I believe you live in North Connecticut. So anyways,
that would explain a lot of things that I've experienced myself. So go right ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Listen, I just want to say that opening sequence where you're hearing like the subtle, not even so subtle, really, just the heavy footsteps, just bum, bum.
Oh
bum,
yeah, I like that.
And then the way he walks, I noticed that his very body language is so different than any other Batman because he has such a demanding kind of footstep pattern to him. Whereas I feel like the regular Batmans are kind of just cool, doing their thing. He just almost came across, I don't want to say villainous, but he definitely had the demeanor.
Authoritative.
What's that?
I think authoritative, right? That's the best way to look at it for me, at least. That's what I got from it.
He did play a vampire at one point, so I mean.
That has nothing to do with.
Oh God, no. See, that's not a vampire. That's made up. None of that happened. That was all in our minds. Twilight never existed.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Nosferatu.
Okay.
Anyways, we're gathered here today to not talk about Twilight.
Not to be off topic, but like, what if he ends up playing Morbius? How would you?
Oh no, they already chose Jared Leto.
I'm just saying, like, what happens if something changes and
sounds like you want that to happen, Brandon.
I just want Eli to see Robert Pattinson in his full vampire glory. You know what I mean?
Morbius is cool, so I think that would be a proper demonstration of a vampire, as opposed to a girl trying to choose between banging a werewolf or a vampire.
And then they made Morbius sparkly.
So moving along, I really enjoyed how Batman beat up the guys in the subway, and my God, he was aggressive. I mean, that first opening scene, he's like, "I need to prove a point," and then like, I don't think I'm not gonna lie, I think he beat that first guy harder than he beat anybody up the entire movie.
Yeah,
I don't know. There was one time where he beat the living shit out of a random goon, like up on the rafters.
Oh, you're right. Fuck.
When he went, I don't even know what that was. I guess you call it the bat serum. I don't know much about that, but I know he like went roid rage for like a split second, and he just started beating the shit. I was like, God damn.
That's got to be like some kind of adrenaline rush too, because he had just taken a shotgun to the chest, and
didn't he shoot with adrenaline? Wasn't that like just straight adrenaline that he shot up?
I don't know.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. So he was already on life and death mode, and then he like shot himself up with that. Must have been adrenaline, or I guess if it's a comic related thing, the bat serum.
Because that's what my actually, now that we're talking about dates, I mean, that's what my date told me was that it looked like adrenaline. So we'll see.
Your date told you. Wait, no. I'm getting this in the wrong context right now. You know what? Okay, moving forward, gentlemen. Fucking Christ, Lord help me. Okay, Buddha bless me, please. Save me from this fucking chaos. Okay,
Odin,
so gentlemen,
me continue sowing my chaos.
No, not here. Okay, Brandon, to the tide with you. Okay.
Well, to the wind with you.
Fair point. Okay, but that will be my inevitability, and that's okay.
So let's meet on an island, and I'll be that island.
So,
All right, Mr. Flower Petal, calm down.
what's that? All right, so moving forward, gentlemen. So
I don't even know what that means, but
yeah,
that's
what
got
does
me.
that mean? Okay, so
Flower petal.
all right, so let's go
You're
from there.
just like floating
So-
in the breeze. Little flower petal.
So I want to
Floating
cover.
down.
I want to say
That's
that
you.
was definitely, I feel that was very much Joker with the face paint, and I was thinking about like the.
I'm telling you, that's what
I know
thought.
I think it's a loose connection because you could tell the new Batman takes place in like the modern era, and like the Joker's probably like the '60s, and something like I don't know. There's there's been
Well,
rumors.
there's
There's been
modern
rumors that
Jokers.
yeah, but
that
it's not that Joker. It's
It's
different
not the
Joker.
original Joker. Yeah.
No,
but-
no, I'm saying the Joker from the most recent Joker movie.
Oh,
right?
You're
So,
saying you were trying to
yeah.
make a
Because they're
comparison.
both very, very dark, and I feel like they're both kind of somewhat close to each other's releases. And I'm thinking, this is all theory stuff, but I'm like, what if they were connected in some way? And I was thinking,
I
like,
can see it. Maybe the Joker. Maybe that movie happened, like,
I was
years
thinking, like,
earlier.
maybe there's like an inspired next generation of like Joker, and that's why people
what I
are
was
still
gonna-
wearing.
That's what I was about to say.
You know what I mean? And then
So-
there's like, now you have this modern Joker because we didn't
Joker
see anything.
became, Joker became like an idea, essentially.
And that's exactly what I was thinking was like at the
Yeah.
end of that movie, it was an idea. Like the man himself could have died, but you'd have
Mm-hmm.
inspired followers, just like if you saw with fucking Riddler and his followers, right?
Yep. True.
So I'm like,
There
that's a
is-
possibility, right?
That is solid. That is a solid idea, and I did hear reports of the Joker movie kind of going off of that idea, that he would be the original concept that would inspire what would be the Joker. And there is a lot of clues that could be true, but there was one inconsistency between the two movies connecting. If you look at Bruce Wayne's father, the actor who played him in the Joker, and then if you look at the actor that played Bruce Wayne's father in the new movie, two different people.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's the only thing, and I don't want to shoot it down because that's a great idea. Although, if I'm being honest, I appreciated Joaquin Phoenix's Joker so much. I would have appreciated him becoming a villain because he had such a beautiful backstory, right? And that would have been great to see him become this nihilistic crime boss in the next movie. But
Yeah.
He'd be too
I
old
think
by
what
the-
they're going with is that inspiration idea, like you're talking about.
He'd be too old by the time back. No?
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
But I think, I mean, you're not wrong.
you're not
Is that all you
wrong. Okay, so that's fair. So in conclusion, I'm assuming that the Joker is loosely maybe connected, just maybe an ideology. It could be completely separate universe, just judging by the Bruce Wayne actor. Of course, that's a good point that I didn't think about that Eli pointed out there.
Maybe there'll be a Joker 2, but
They're
set in the
supposed to
Robert
be.
Patterson universe, though.
Yeah, that could be.
I think
Not
it's going to
exactly
be separate, right?
Yeah, I was
separate,
gonna
but
say
maybe
separate.
together. Who knows, right?
Maybe like a Joker arc that's like, canon to the Robert Patterson.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to think that it could be loosely connected, of course.
Kind of.
But moving forward from that, I'm interested in what you gentlemen felt about the overall message of the movie. Like, did you get the theme? Did you get a message from the movie? Because I did, certainly. Like, what was something you took away from the movie? Because good cinema, which by the way, to me, and I'm not saying I'm a professional, but to me, this is good cinema. Like, it's not just a
You're like
Batman
Benji
movie.
Bar.
It's like actual good cinema,
Yeah.
So tell me what theme you got from it. Like, what was the theme to you? The lesson, the takeaway.
Puzzles are good.
Well, no, I mean, I do think the theme was very much kind of. I mean, a big thing about this was how Thomas Wayne wanted to donate $1 billion towards a charitable cause, and how the city officials and criminals all got their hands involved in it, and there was a lot of corruption. So I think that there's a side of transparency with
That not everything is black and white.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, I feel like this also breaks down to how I think greed is a big deal, and also just kind of being transparent, like having the government officials be transparent with spending and what they're doing with the money. And yeah, I guess greed. I mean, I guess the idea of not allowing money to kind of dictate you was kind of a big theme. And it's interesting because then you see how Bruce Wayne didn't really do anything with like charitable wise after his father passed away. So that was an interesting kind of connection there.
I
Um,
didn't think he was gonna do anything really greedy. I mean, he doesn't seem like the greedy type, you know?
who Bruce Wayne?
Yeah.
Yeah, not saying he's greedy. I mean, I know he's kind of
Yeah.
reclusive and doesn't really want to interact with the outside world aside from dealing with like thugs on the street and criminals. But
Mhm.
I just meant like the town officials being like corrupted, and I think just taking shots at government in general and how people can be so easily corrupted.
What do you think
And
about Bruce Wayne and what do you think about Selena Kyle and Bruce Wayne? That whole
who?
thing, dynamic. Selena Kyle,
Selena
Catwoman.
Kyle? Is that okay? So she I thought she did great. I thought she did great. I never really was crazy in Catwoman before, but I thought she did a great job as Catwoman.
I know. What do you think of the dynamic between the two of them, though? What do you think that has to offer to the movie theme?
I just want to interject that I think that that was like the parallel between them, of course, was very obvious, but also like the you could see the like the visualization from the cinematography at the end of the movie was fucking brilliant in that way when they both were on the motorcycles and they were going parallel to each other, and then
Mm-hmm.
at the end they both went their separate ways, right?
Yep. See.
And that was
That hit
brilliant to
me.
me. That was brilliant. And
Yeah.
on top of all that, my so you guys pretty much discussed the themes you saw. So for me, the theme actually is something completely different. The theme is something that actually hits me at a personal level, which I won't discuss into too much detail on broadcast here. But what I will say is trauma bonding, and what that is. Now, trauma bonding is essentially this is a real life phenomenon where it's people that have been through very hard experiences share that in common, and then they see that in other people, and they are gravitated towards people like that, and like to stay close to them, even if it's harmful for them at times. You know what I mean? Just such like abusive relationships, unfortunate like even toxic friendships that happen, and that's a lot of what happens in life sometimes, and like you could see that a lot with between actually Batman and Catwoman for sure, right? Definitely. They both mentioned the stray line, right? They're both strays, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then keep in mind also the Riddler was also doing
Part
that
of
with
that too.
Batman. Yeah, same with Joker too. Like Joker, this has been a long known thing about Joker too. Is like Joker does that same thing with Batman, and that's why they're
Trauma,
like,
trauma, 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 trauma.
yeah, exactly. And so it's pretty interesting, like it's teaching you about that just because you have something in common with somebody, you know, especially trauma, it doesn't mean that it's always going to be the best route to go. I think that's what I took that from it, and I found that to be very, very, very smart. I like that.
Yep. Let it be known that just
Well said.
because
Well said.
your banana looks the same as the other person's banana doesn't mean you're in the same bundle.
That's actually really good words, Brandon.
You know,
That's good
the
words.
I will say too, the way the Riddler broke down the difference between Bruce Wayne being an orphan and the Riddler being an orphan was so profound. Like being an orphan is not growing up in a mansion; it's 20 kids to a room. And like, the way he was going in depth about that hit me. Obviously, I didn't grow up an orphan, but it made me consider myself in that position and how that must feel like to be in his shoes and to grow up that way and to feel so unwanted and unloved and having to kind of petition myself to be adopted by two adults and how awful and difficult that must be to put myself out there like that.
I mean, if
Um,
Bruce Wayne grew up in different circumstances, he could have ended up just like the Riddler.
Exactly. It would have just been a
yeah.
Batman that is just like the Riddler. Exactly. And yeah, that's a very good point. And it made me think about how like just Batman being this icon of like he said in the beginning, right? He's vengeance, right?
Mm.
And vengeance in life is this thing that only destroys. It's a destructive term. You know what I mean? Even if it's for the sake of like because somebody did something to you, and you are doing it back to them. What is it? The term is an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind, right?
Agreed.
And to me, that was also another big like theme in the movies. I just have to give like major props to the filmmakers and the writers, like the whole team, everybody, because it was such a phenomenal like deep story. I haven't seen like people that don't even watch superhero stuff. That's just good cinema. Like it's not even just a Batman movie. Just like Joker, people didn't even fucking care about like the Joker character. People watched it because it was a good movie. And
Yep.
I think that's something to be said and appreciated because DC's
I
been
think
on a
honestly,
streak
I
now,
think
which is
this might
good.
be a turning point for movies. You know, where they kind of were a little shitty beforehand, but now they're starting to gain more quality. I think in a way, they're
Like
gaining their quality back.
with like what kind of like superhero movies in particular?
Just movies in general, to be
Okay.
honest.
Yeah, I mean, lately cinema's been taking a hit because it's been mostly, we all know, everybody has said this a million times, is reboots, remakes, fucking
Yeah.
sequels, right? And, a lot of people are scared to do original takes or ideas. I think this really all started, though, if you really, like, look back, specifically in the superhero genre, I like to think that Logan was the first to, like, be bold like that. Because Logan was, like, this super dark finale to Wolverine. Like, you would think that a hero like Wolverine, sure, he's already kind of a dark hero, but, like, in the X-Men, it was a lot more fun. But, like, when Logan was released, it was, like, suddenly, like, what the hell's going on? Like, everything's really fucked up now. Like, the world's, like, at this, like, anti-mutant state and all this stuff. And, I just like to think that, Logan is definitely probably a cornerstone in, like, approaching darker, themes and more realistic themes in superhero movies for sure.
It's interesting. I saw Logan in the theaters, and there was a good amount of people in the crowd. And, it deals with Professor X dealing with clear signs of mental deterioration and just kind of highlighting how bold this movie is and dealing with real life circumstances. People in the crowd didn't know how to deal with that. So actually, a lot of people were laughing when Professor X was having his mental breakdown moment. Or no, I don't want to say mental breakdown moments. When he's showing his signs of mental deterioration, people were laughing. And it was such an uncomfortable moment because you're watching this going, this isn't meant to be funny, but people were laughing. And it was such an odd moment because that happened throughout the film. Anytime Professor X was having those moments, people found it funny. And I think on one hand, I'm a big proponent of humor, obviously, and I certainly think that humor is a way we can kind of course through life and get through things, because certainly there's a lot of trauma we develop over the course of our lives. But at the same time, like you're saying, in dealing with real life circumstances, it's not very funny. And I know humor needs to be designed a certain way for it to be funny, right? It needs to be crafted and delivered a certain way. It's not very
Yeah, I was
funny
gonna
to
say,
see.
Were there
What's
any?
that?
Were there any like? I'm trying to remember the scenes from Logan. Were there any like audio cues that depicted any kind of humorous response? Or
I just like one scene in particular, he's circling around in his chair and he's like repeating himself.
uh-huh.
And maybe it's just because I've seen firsthand the signs of dementia and Alzheimer's.
Mm,
Um, so it's something real to me and it's something that terrifies me. And I know
yes.
it's something that you could develop. There's a bunch of ways you could develop those types of diseases, but one of them is actually dependent on proper sleep schedule. Throughout my life, I've always struggled with that. So maybe it hits different for me because it's a real life fear of mine to strengthen my cognitive health, but also to not develop those diseases down the road.
Mm,
Not trying to get too personal in my situation there, but just saying in the sense of it's interesting seeing how people deal with certain scenes. You know, um, hell, I remember when I watched Infinity War, and some people like clapped when Thanos like stabbed Iron Man. And I was so pissed off. I was like, how are you cheering that Thanos stabbed Iron Man? Now I know Thanos is the big bad and he's cool, but not Iron Man. Not Iron Man. That is not a cool moment to stab Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, you must
But
really liked what came next then.
liked what?
You must have really liked what came after that then.
Thanos
I actually did kind of like that.
Clapped. Thanos
I'll be honest. I love that was okay. Logan was bold, and then having Infinity War end with the snap of the fingers, that was bold. That was like, this is Disney doing this, right? Disney owns Marvel. Yep. They're not the kind of people to leave you on a somber note like that. They're the kind to kind of show trauma in the very beginning and show the character's revival. They're not just willing to usually go.
Did Disney own them at that time, though?
Yeah. They've owned them since want to say like literally after Iron Man came out, pretty much, or Iron Man 3 came out. I was like,
yeah, it was around that time. Disney has like so many big properties, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. But just to get back on segue, I do appreciate what you said though. There, I respect that a lot, and I think that I can relate with that too. With the Huntington's disease, which also takes on like dementia and stuff like that, is like a part of that disease. And like especially later in life when people start losing their mental, cognitive abilities. So I get where you're coming from with that, and trust me, like I know what that feels like, and I felt the same way when I was watching that movie, and I was like, and I know this is about Batman. I just wanted to, this is a good topic.
Yeah.
But like when you watch somebody deteriorate like that, firsthand, it doesn't make it funny. It makes it not funny anymore. So I kind of, comedy is subjective, right? And so I get that. Like, I mean, crazy old man circling around, that's probably the first thing that popped into people's head. They didn't think it was, like, anything like that. You know what I mean?
Sure. Maybe they don't have family members they've dealt with that, so maybe to them it's not something to take seriously. Because I get that, too. I feel humor should be... It's hard. Like you're saying, humor's so subjective, so I try not to, like, stifle it. But it's difficult. It's hard to kind of gauge what is funny versus what's not. It depends on the person.
For sure.
True.
For sure.
I mean, it also depends on the director's intent on what. So, like, if there is a tense moment, but at the same time there is audio to indicate that it's more of a funny, lighthearted, tense moment where you can laugh at it, then the audio will do that. And, audio in and of itself is like at least 80% of the movie. To think, like all the emotional responses, all the things, like the battle scenes and stuff in movies, like, or the really triumphant heroic scenes. Like, if you take out the audio piece of that and just watch the scene itself, it doesn't elicit the same reaction as it would if you had the audio behind it.
It's true. Audio direction and visual direction being harmonious is absolutely essential, and everything from that to cut direction, scenes. So yeah, I get that absolutely makes sense. But moving forward with Batman, just because I want to stay on topic here, though that was very valuable.
Yes,
gentlemen, what was your just like? Let's just get right into the fun, like the most fun aspect of it, man. The action, like that shit was kick ass, bro. That shit was hard. Like you felt every blow that Batman fucking like smacked into somebody. I was on the edge of my seat. That, and I loved like that. In a lot of years we haven't gotten like a lot of live action Batman action, if that makes sense. Like I feel like Dark Knight was okay with that, but like I still felt like you didn't get enough. And with this, like, you get 3 hours of just Batman kicking ass in real life. Like, it was just the coolest shit. So, what say you, gentlemen?
It was cool, I will say, but at the same time, I wish there was more. Like, I wish the choreography was more theatrical and more like, they definitely did a more grounding choreography when it comes to the dance, like the fighting. It's definitely more grounded in reality, but Batman in and of itself is known to be able to do crazy things when it comes to fighting. And like he's styled in many different styles of kung fu and whatever, because he was trained by Raj Al Ghul, right? So he should be able to do way more than what I thought Robert Pattinson's Batman could do in that. Or at least that was my takeaway from it. I don't know about you guys. I guess it's more of an unpopular opinion.
That's the floor is yours, Eli.
It's interesting. What's that?
How you gonna follow that up, huh?
I'm gonna add to what you said. I'm gonna say that you're wrong, and I didn't listen to anything you said. No, I'm kidding. Here's the thing. It did leave me wanting more in some instances. Like, okay, to be honest, I did donate the day of, so I was a bit tired near the end. I was a bit like, I kind of want to go home. Appreciating the film, but other circumstances, I'm tired. But in some ways, yeah, the movie did kind of leave me wanting more. Man, I guess. Okay. You know what? I'll just kind of go into a mental note I had watching the film. I still don't know how to digest the Riddler. He's interesting, and I think the actor did a great job. But something about the way the Riddler spoke, it just, I never really quite connected with the Riddler. I saw a lot of Dark Knight shades, like how they would submit these videos of people being killed or tortured, and the Joker would do that. I thought the Dark Knight did better on that than the Riddler. I also, when he finally meets the Riddler, and they were like speaking, everything he said was so drawn out. Like, he was so upset when things weren't going well. He's like, no, this wasn't supposed to happen this way. Like, everything was so drawn out, and I'm like, God, please stop it. Just speak quicker, please.
I have to disagree with you on that, because I feel like I thought it was like, sure, it was kind of funny depending on who you are, right? Like, it's like just like we talked about with the other movie, right? So it's like, it was kind of funny, but at the same time, it was also kind of scary that he was like, the way he was kind of moaning about it, like he was just so zoned in to that. And it was
it was very
I just want to stress, I didn't find him funny. I found him frustrating. That's what I meant. Like, because there was that eerie element. I just think it's a thing with comedic. I didn't care that he killed people. I cared that he spoke funny.
Summary of Batman in 2 minutes.
Everybody else watching that probably was like, "Oh, this is weird. Why is this guy like moaning like that?" Eli's just like, "Shut up."
Yeah. Like, stop it. Start doing sign language.
Mr. Platelet Godman is like, me tired. Me watch Batman. Me watch Batman. You yell me no like.
You
stop.
My eternal dialogue throughout the day just summed up in 4 sentences.
He's got the flip stick. He throws it at the screen.
And I go to flip it. I'm like, no. Yeah, no. I like that he plotted.
The Riddler's head as he's moaning.
Yeah, what the fuck? Why was he singing and moaning? God, why? It's so weird.
His plan was really thought out, like very well done.
Planning it from the very.
Oh, but you know what? I did think it was a good play on social commentary. How, like, not only did he appeal to people on the internet, but they joined in near the end.
Right.
I was like, ooh, shit.
Yeah, he's like. They took I like the modern approach they took with him, right? Because Jim Carrey was like the cartoon version of him, like the comic version of him back in the day, which he did a great job for that version of the character. That shit is so entertaining.
Jim Carrey's like his Riddler has a special place in my heart.
Yeah, for sure, because it's funny as fuck. But this one is more like grounded in reality, right? Just like the Nolan trilogy is more grounded in reality. Although I found the Nolan trilogy to be more fictional than this one, believe it or not.
Well, yeah, stuff more raw as in reality would be.
Like, this was extremely gritty, more so than even reality, right? But it made it dystopian, but I like that. I thought that was fun. I was like,
I wouldn't say dystopian. I mean, shit.
It's definitely dystopian, bro. Like that.
Look what's happening right now. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's fair. Well, good thing I don't go to those cities anymore. So anyway, but it's just basically more or less. I just it's So okay, so basically the verdict is I thought the action was fucking awesome. Brandon thought rectangles fit into the circle,
That's
and
not what I said.
and Eli said I'm gonna flip this stick so hard that it's going to change my gender, and I think that's beautiful. I respect it.
His gender has already changed. Can't you tell?
It's,
He's bald
I looked
now.
downstairs and I forgot I left some food down there. But another point I wanted to make too was that I wanted to ask you guys about like how did you feel about the plot revolving around the reporter getting snuffed and just Robert Patterson bouncing back and forth between Falcone and Alfred, figuring out the truth of his father's criminal past, if you will.
I don't know. I think I love the approach. I thought it was
What did we like? I'm confused. Like what do you mean? Like, what did we think
Just did
about?
you enjoy kind of the what's that?
Like how did we interpret it, or
Yeah, I guess it is sort of a broad question. I guess how do you feel about on one hand you're learning that in Falcon's words, Bruce Wayne's father is not a Boy Scout, and you're thinking, oh, he's kind of it's a little shady. Like, you're finding out all this dirty laundry about the Waynes. Then he goes to this mafioso boss and finds, confirms it. But then talks to Alfred and just sort of sees that maybe it's not as dark as it seems. It's the same idea, but it's turned around. How did you feel about that journey of figuring out the dirty laundry of the Waynes, from the Riddler, from Falcone, and then from Alfred?
so.
I will say. Oh, you want to go first?
I mean, you could go first.
No, go. No, you're talking now.
You sound very petty, my man. Just go ahead.
Well, since you're already speaking.
Since you're already talking. All right, Brandon.
Good morning.
If you say so. Good morning. I'll go ahead then. I'll go
I
ahead.
hope the viewers
Brandon.
have no idea what that means.
They will. They will. Anyway.
Good.
Stay tuned.
Good.
Ew.
Shut the fuck up. All right, so basically, I really appreciated that, and like it really showed the duality between Batman and Bruce Wayne as people, because they really are two different people, right? And remember, it took Batman. I remember take the club for an example. Is this like constant? This club, right? 3 times I think he goes to this club, and knocks on the door. The fucking twin guys are there. First time, he's like, "Let me in," and then they're like, "What the fuck?" And then he kicks their ass. And then the next time, he shows up as Bruce Wayne, and he's like, "I'm here to see Falcone." And then they're like, "Oh, look, it's Bruce Wayne," and he's like, he sounds like really shaken, which he was at the time. And then like he goes and does his thing. Then he comes back and he's like. And he does a different thing where I think he like is already inside the building and he kicks their ass. Now, to me, that was the journey. Just
What a journey it was.
It really was. But on the emotional standpoint of it, like I definitely felt from personal experience, right? You hear things like, for example, you hear things throughout the grapevine of the family, right? Or what's left of it in my circumstance, and you hear stories and you hear sides of stories, you know what I mean? And so you can't take just one story or viewpoint as like the truth, because there's multiple parties involved, you know what I mean? And so when you don't have people filling those gaps, people can change their narrative if they decide to save themselves embarrassment, shame, whatever it may be, right? So that's exactly what that was like to me. It's like watching that, I connected with that on a personal level, because I was like, wow, this is like when I was digging through my personal family history and finding some dirty laundry that I didn't really expect to see. And a lot of it shook me for a long time and changed my world. And thus kind of led to a series of events of me evolving and getting to a mental position where I'm at now. So that's my viewpoint on that. I think that was perfectly well executed. The fact that it resonated with me tells me that it was well done, and that it was just from every step of that journey, right? And I think that was very, very smart. All right, fucking eyeball, what you got? It just went from like. All right, eyeballs, what you got?
Well, let's see. No, I like the J too. It was really good.
You know the build up and then the subversion of your build up, Brandon. That was
Hey, you know, and eyes.
okay. So finish up. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Finally. Anyway. No. No, my I was kind of stuck at the edge of my seat with every turn and twist as they uncovered new information on the wings. I kind of went through it with like in Bruce's eyes, like where I was like, "Oh, shit, my dad's not as good as I thought he was," and then I go through, and it's like, "Wait, no, that can't be true." Then we talk to Alfred, and Alfred's like, "Listen, he's right, but like not really." This is what happened.
I was just waiting for you to say, "Well, you learned things about your grandfather," and
No, listen. That's the story.
But then you talk to me and I tell you, no, that's not how it happened.
That's the story of the podcast. All right.
Yeah, it's true.
it's
another year and another.
I was just discussing that with Jake earlier. I was telling him the tale, and I'm not going to go into detail, but I was telling him the tale of that, and he was like,
"Why is Jake here with us right now?"
Because he's not really that type of guy. He doesn't like to do podcasts and stuff like that.
Does he watch the Batman?
Watch the Madman?
The Batman.
Oh, Batman! No, he didn't see it. He's not really into superhero movies that much. But
what kind of human is Jake?
He's a gamer. Okay, he's a pro gamer. All right.
Wow.
A gay.
Pro gamer.
Yeah, pro gamer. I know he's gonna listen to this, so I'm calling you out, Jake.
Shout out, Jake.
Yes.
Here's the
Jake,
thing.
Wish you weren't Asian. What? Hello?
I would.
Wish you weren't. Brandon, you're canceled.
I said nothing.
We're ruined. Anyways,
I am calling the CEO of Twitter right now.
Yeah, I'm calling Marcia Streetberg. Marcia will not be happy.
Yeah.
Marcia.
Yeah, you look like Eli, and this is a compliment. You look like Moby in the recording booth right now, making a new song.
Who's Moby?
Exactly. Sadly, I love his content. I love his work, but yeah,
He looks like Q-Tip to me,
Well, you look like a bowling ball.
or a Netflix version of Megamind. There we go.
Oh, thank you. I take back the bowling ball insult.
you know the Megamind meme is trending right now. I might make an Eli version with Microsoft
Please
Paint.
do.
I just wanted to say, kind of steering the ship back to crashing into Batman, Robert Patterson's kneecaps. I was thinking that I found it very interesting how the Riddler just systematically just ruined the Waynes within just one infomercial. And I this is fucked up, but I was more kind of impressed. I'm like, wow, not only is he good at killing people and orchestrating great crime scenes, he has really good video editing skills. Who would have thought? So that was going through my mind when this is being submitted.
I guess you could learn a thing or two from him then.
Yeah, I guess I could. Wow. Well, at least
Fancy that.
see, it's so hard being insulted by half a face. It's not even a person. It's just anatomy.
It's that.
Shouldn't it be worse?
It's that last drip of like that swirly strawberry ice cream that comes out of the McDonald's fucking ice cream machine, and it's just stuck there, and it just grew. It just grew eyeballs.
I'm just the last strip of that strawberry ice cream. I'm that last strip of cardiac arrest that you get from eating all the ice cream.
Your eyebrows
how
look
they
like you
say
shaved
good
half
for-
of them.
Yeah, you know how they say. Yeah, this is the eyebrows. That stuff. That comes from like your beard hairs when you fall into the ice cream. That's what this is. Yeah. So
That makes
Who the
sense.
hell
I have a
works
lot of
there,
beard
me?
hairs.
you? Or
Yes.
Eli?
Both of us
Well,
combined.
so I gotta say though, it hit me when he was talking to Alfred because like I'm looking at the Riddler saying all this stuff. I'm like, damn, okay. well, that just ruined the Waynes. And like, this is movie number 2 where the Waynes are just shit on. Because in the Joker, they don't exactly make the Waynes. I mean, Mama Wayne got shot. That's about as much hype as she got. But Dada Wayne.
Speaking of, I'm sorry to cut you here.
I'm done.
Well,
all right, I'm back.
Okay, well, so thanks for tuning in to today's episode of. Wait.
No!
Oh, I see. You're still here.
Sorry, y'all. Okay. Sorry. I just want Brandon. You had something to say, and I
think Eli was saying something. Eli, you should.
Yeah, you're right.
You should let Eli speak. Okay, Eli.
So here's the thing. Wet hands. They're not wet. So the thing is,
okay, Blackpink.
I was, it really hit different when Alfred was talking to him because it was just the way Alfred's like when he says, "I thought my dad was a good man," and he's like, "Your dad is a good man," and that kind of got me because like, it was just the way he was so reaffirming of it, like how dare you even question that, and just kind of restructuring the way that the mafioso guy kind of said it, and like rethinking that. Like, watching in the movies, I didn't really know how to digest it. I was moved by Alfred's words. I thought it was such a beautiful moment with Alfred. But digesting that whole sequence of events, I do appreciate that it's the same story, but recontextualized. You had the Riddler just saying, yeah, fuck the Waynes. Then you had the mafioso guy saying, look, your dad needed to get rid of him. I did what I had to do, He thought he was perfect, but he's not. And then you had Alfred just being like, no, he's a good man. It is what it is. So it went from really bad to like mid-tier bad to like, no, he's cool. And it's all just based off the perspective. Because Falcone's not exactly a astounding guy. I mean, he's sort of, he's the kind of guy that kills people, right? He's not exactly looking at things from a very sane point of view. And certainly the way Alfred said it, I like the way he kind of explained, look, he wasn't exactly hoping to get this reporter killed. He was trying to scare him. And people do desperate things when they're, under pressure. I'm not excusing him for turning to a mafioso guy to scare a reporter away. But this is like, kids, if you're a reporter, if you're going into journalism, just don't. Just don't. Just don't.
Just don't.
Somebody has some dirty laundry, let them wash it. Don't put it on your clothing line and say, hey, you smell that musk? Yeah, Brandon Szymanski.
That's a fair point.
No, but
you're ending that?
Do you miss the reporter? Not to be a dick. Well, like, the reporter died. Do any of us feel sorry for him?
Not usually, because at least in this day and age, news media is very partisan and biased.
But in this case, like, this reporter was airing some dirt on the Waynes, and then he got whacked. Do we feel sorry for him?
Well, we didn't really get a backstory on this reporter. We don't know what he looks like.
But he's a human, right? Do we feel sorry for this human that's a snitch?
Well, we don't miss anybody really that we don't really know or have connections with. So
if you don't know somebody, but they die somewhere in Antarctica, do you shed a frozen tear?
No.
Well, Brandon does because he's a Nordic man, so it works.
That's a fair point.
No. I only shed tear for ice cream cones. Sorry.
Now, did you appreciate the way his plan worked out to where everybody was kind of being flooded into Madison Square Garden?
Yes.
And then everyone's getting shot?
No.
I felt like
that
was... See, that's my point, is like, that was a completely different approach in a Batman movie. That's never been done that I know of. I know there was like the gas clouds with the old movies, and then there was the fucking in Dark Knight Returns with Bane. There was the stadium, you know what I mean? But like the flooding, that was crazy. That was intense and crazy, and like that will permanently alter that city. And like they were leading into a potential sequel with a lot of scenes in this movie towards the end, of course.
Oh yeah.
So
teasing
what caused that anyway?
It was the vans with the bombs that the Riddler did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And
where did he do that? Was there like some kind of dam he broke, or like did he just create water?
Gotham is in like a seawall, so he broke the seawalls, and like,
genius.
They just flooded.
Of course. Oh well, no, but where did the water come from? Was there like a storm happening that caused the water level to rise like that?
No, it's Gotham is under sea level.
Oh, it's like below sea level.
Okay. Yeah, so the water is just coming in.
Oh, well, it's kind of a shitty design on that.
Yeah, well, that's stupid. It's like New Orleans, which is also fucking stupid.
I gotta say,
You said it, not me. All right.
it was a perfect. I mean, it was a solid plan.
2020.
I'm sorry, I cut you off, Brandon.
Shut up.
Wow.
There's a lot of rudeness happening here, you know.
Yeah. See, I thought he was gonna follow up with like a continuation, but no, he just wanted to be like, shut up.
Yeah, he's like
And I realized that after he said nothing.
He's like the 10-year-old in the playground where you're like, your mom, and then he's like, yeah, well, shut up.
He's on the teeter-totter, and then you stand up, he goes flying.
You know, this lobby quieted down when I said shut up, so it's more like the kid said your mom, and I'm just like, oh yeah, well, you're adopted.
All right, Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, well, you know who else is adopted? You know who else is adopted?
Who? Tell me.
Not the Riddler. No, but he did get adopted, technically. At the end of the movie, he did get adopted as a friend by a... Thank you for throat singing there, Chief. But do you know that the Joker, or at least someone who sounds like the Joker, or someone who's inspired by the Joker, or who is the real adaptation of the Joker, is saying, hey, I like riddles. You know what riddle I like? Let's be friends. And then like the Riddler's just like, ah, and then he's like, ah. So that's not my best Joker laugh.
Was the Joker. I told you that was the Joker.
I know that was like the implication.
I know.
In fact, the term
Well,
clown,
that was easy, yeah.
The term clown was actually thrown around in his first statement.
The second he said clown, I'm like, who the fuck is this guy?
Obviously, it's probably going to be Joker, but I think I think that's kind of whack. I'm going to be honest, and here's why I think that.
Whack.
Wow.
Whack.
Because there is way too many, villains that the live-action movies haven't covered that are really good and well-written in the comics that I know of. And
you're saying that the Joker is not a part of that?
Because I know he is, but, like, they've done Joker 10 million fucking times. They need to do some other shit.
And guess what? They never did Joker right. I'm going to say it.
What?
You son of a bitch.
Mm-hmm. Do you like that?
Yeah, no, I don't like it.
Okay, well, I think you're wrong in a couple different accounts.
So here's where your opinion's wrong.
Yeah. Let's pull out the book here. Where's the book? All right.
Show me the book.
Here it is. This is where you're wrong.
Right there, yeah.
Yeah. See that? Yeah, take a page, okay? All right, how about this? Signs and symptoms. Well, some oral cancers produce early symptoms. Others do not until they are advanced. Symptoms may include a chronic sore of the mouth, tongue, or throat that does not heal. You have a tongue.
So do you.
You think about that, Brandon Shemansky, okay?
You know, my point.
Ooh, shaky.
Shut it down off of reading the headlines. That's.
Yeah, well, your statement saying that no Joker's been good is a headline, and I'm shooting it down.
I didn't say no.
Okay?
Yeah. You were saying that every Joker's... Okay, I don't even know how we got on that, but I will just say...
Do him justice. I said that they could do him better.
That's
yeah, you're right. But I did like that they included him at the end.
Better.
Yes. That it wasn't...
But this makes me wonder. So, like, the Riddler's badass enough in this movie... And I stretched the word badass because I didn't, How
are they going to stop it?
Well,
that's what I'm saying. Like, the Joker has been notoriously this big bad. So, like, the Riddler flooded the city. So, what did the Joker do, or what is he going to do? Is he just going to be a sidekick to the Riddler? Like, that part felt... It felt like they're too big for each other.
Yeah.
They're going to blow up the Earth, probably.
It seems like the next logical step, yeah.
But Thanos is going to show up with the Zanus.
It's going to take a lot of TNT. I don't think we have enough funds for that, gentlemen.
You're going to overload the Minecraft server with that kind of TNT.
Yeah, it's true. You could blow up your friend's little brother's city and a server, and he bans you.
Yeah. So speaking of, by the way, we got to find a way to have a server for us, gentlemen.
Yeah, we do. Now I'm actually got to work on laptop. We got to play some Minecraft. Maybe I'll tell about that. We could play Minecraft after this.
I am so down for that. You have no idea.
What time is it?
Big kicky. But wait. Let's get back on cue here. See, Brandon was telling me how much he loves the Joker, and I just want to move past that. So, anyways, Brandon, thank you for your.
there are people out there that agree with me that, that the Jokers that have came before could be done better. And there were good renditions, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to say that every rendition of the Joker was bad. I'm just saying that they could have done more.
Well, there's also people that
Like,
believe the Earth is
Joker-
flat, so I don't know.
I feel like the most recent Joker and Heath Ledger's Joker are a bit closer to the essence of what Joker could be.
So you're saying there's a better version than Joaquin
so-
Phoenix and Heath Ledger?
I'm just saying, to be fair, that Joaquin Phoenix and Heath Ledger are actually the least Joker-like out of the Jokers, but they're the most
And my
liked.
point, right,
Yeah.
right.
He says, right! Right!
I don't know. I feel like
You're
I
a
never
genius.
cared about the Joker until they came around.
That's true, though, because you know what?
Yeah.
Those are very grounded Jokers. Like, Joaquin Phoenix's was basically just huge mental health issues, right? Like, and schizophrenia, mania, all sorts of stuff. And then Heath Ledger's was just a guy who just obviously had been brought to some kind of breaking point and just stopped giving a fuck about anything.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of rumors that he's just a war vet and everything because he's so tactically skilled and his understanding of bombs and shit. But
Well, the trigger didn't explode on him.
well,
like
it did eventually.
It did eventually, yeah, but not the first time. We figured if he was a vet, he'd be able to get that cranked out. In the first.
You're just
You
you're
know
gonna be
that was a
the
blooper, right?
fucking. You're gonna be his neighbor. You're gonna be his neighbor in Arkham, and you're gonna be like, so your bombs didn't exactly explode on time. Like next time just on time. Okay, time matters.
You're doing good, but like you could do better.
You're his manager. You're like, yeah, so you've killed half the city, but like next week let's try for like 3/4, okay? Like I'm just saying you're doing good, but like we have metrics and we could always measure better.
And he's like really self-deprecating and like he hates his life.
It's like, I just don't even want to live. And you're like, yeah, that's great. So how about we get more suicidal next week, okay? How about we actually try and attempt, all right? Because like I want you to do, not say.
Batman will never see it coming. This would be a way to surprise him, Joker.
Yeah. He'll be upset. Like, this would be the ultimate prank. Come on, pussy.
Right.
Do it.
Honestly, that's probably the best way to defeat the Joker, because, like, you just say, I bet you won't. And then Joker would be like, what do you mean? I definitely will.
Yeah, Batman's whole decision to not kill the Joker has cost so many people so many lives.
Really?
So Batman's not being very noble by saying, I refuse to kill. Where, like,
I mean,
the
there's-
Joker's
there's-
killed so many.
There's got to be a point to where like you have to do it at some point, like
Oh, he has in some of the media, and like that makes a whole different storyline actually. But man, anyway, we're getting,
no,
yeah, it's
we're
true.
getting way off
That's
topic,
true. We do.
gentlemen. Again, let's zone back in on. So, name your favorite set of scenes. Like, what just stuck with you the most? And I'm not talking theme, but like just something that was like visually, you're like, man, that's really cool. Like, what was that for you in this film?
trying to picture it. I had one in mind earlier, but I don't know.
Eli, how about you?
I'll be honest, like, the very first scene I think might have been my favorite, because it was the introduction to Robert Pattinson, and seeing him wail on those gang members. I think that's my favorite scene. The very opening one.
And I like the favorite one because it was
Brandon liked the piano because it goes do 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 do. It's like a siren, but down to a piano. You slow it down, it sounds really good. He goes,
it's like dangling keys in front of my face. I just can't not look away.
No, but these are not keys.
I love it. Oh, object
I'm sorry.
permanent. It's gone
So-
forever now.
I don't like being cruel. I'm sorry.
So the first scene was your favorite, Eli?
Yeah, actually, I think that was my favorite because it was the introduction to Robert Pattinson.
Is
It
that
was
your
him kind of
final?
wailing on some goons, and it wasn't what?
Is that your
just
final?
just ignore him, Eli. Just ignore him.
Yeah, I feel like I just feel like it wasn't like.
I mean, you have like another 2 to 10 seconds to really just like rethink your answer. But
Okay, I could guess your favorite scene. The scene where Catwoman rips her contacts out of her eyes, and Batman's like, "No,
Oh, damn it.
fuck! Thought I was gonna get laid. Oh, this is why I wear eyeliner."
Where are the news?
What? Alfred! Alfred!
I mean, he did get a kiss though.
Joker.
Let's play Turtle Time, Alfred! You're not my dad, it's okay!
I've become so numb I can feel you there.
Call me. Tell me of vengeance again, Alfred. Tell me of vengeance.
Do you think Linkin Park is in that?
Linda Parker?
No, Linkin Park.
There should have been.
What?
They should have had Linkin Park in there.
What? Why?
Why not?
Because it's emo Batman. Anyway, but
Fair enough. Well, no, listen. Not the shit on Linkin Park. Oh! Fuck,
no, it's
thank
not
you for
shitty.
reminding
I
me.
love Linkin Park.
No.
You kidding me?
I was gonna say. I'm like, I'm not saying like, oh, I don't like Linkin. I just wasn't sure if there was a connection, but I do fucking love that they threw in Something in the Way by Nirvana.
It's a good song.
That was like, damn, they're nailing this right off the bat.
Yep. That's
And it's because it's such a dark song. It's about like when he was homeless living underneath a bridge, and like for this kind of movie, I'm like, whoa.
I
Okay.
Yep.
What? What? You don't care for bridges or homeless people, do you?
No.
Oh, right. You think fishes have feelings, so per the lyrics, you can't eat fishes because they have feelings.
No, I just feel like that song was just a little too slow for that.
But Brandon, what film have you ever even done to begin with? Okay, now you got me on a tangent. Okay,
What?
Brandon, what film have you done? What film have you scored?
You see, if you made James solving a Rubik's Cube, you've upset him.
The scene
Exodia!
like required.
I am going to pull out my goddamn trap card. Okay.
Listen,
Hillary.
I'll put my
Okay,
schlong on
Hillary.
the table. Okay, we'll just start measuring.
I'm gonna put out my trap card, Hillary. Okay, and check this out. It's actually a lot larger than you think it is. Okay, so I'm gonna put my trap card down, and this is what it is. It's a pot of greed. Okay, and guess what? It means I get to draw 2 cards, and you go to hell. Okay, so I win the election. Thank you. Goodbye.
Your audience is liberal.
Marvelous.
Liberal.
Yo, Brandon Shemansky. It'd be funny if Brandon had some like Trump posters, just hanging
he
around.
does. He's just
I knew it.
He just that's why he overshares extremely tolerant information on Facebook, because he's secretly a conservative.
I'm gonna go comment something not sensitive.
Done.
I'm gonna be
Brandon
like, I
said-
know what you did.
Brandon, I seen you. That's why you're in the South Carolina, real good like.
It just didn't. Sorry.
I disagree.
Song. It was a great rendition. It was really well paid. I like the song, but I feel like it could have been a little.
I'm gonna get copyright striked.
I feel like they could have chosen a little bit of a faster song. That's all.
Well, in the beginning, it's a very disgruntled kind of like
it's a dystopian.
dark narration. Yeah, so I feel like that could work in that kind of field, because when things are moving fast, they're not depressing. When things move slowly, they're depressing.
Not
like a slow death of a city is exactly what it was too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
But I wanted big action song.
I'm just kidding, Brendan. Go.
not a song.
Brendan wanted. You know what he wanted? He wanted
Press song.
He wanted
But,
he
like-
wanted some fucking Nordic content.
No, like if they had like a Tool song, like something still depressing, but just a little harder, a little faster.
Okay,
paced.
well, actually, yeah, I could see like a Tool song working out.
You know what I mean?
All right,
That's
all
all
right.
I'm saying. It was too mellow.
No reason to raise your voice. You know, you're
Listen,
upsetting me.
I'm
You're making me upset.
getting dealt bad hands podcast, so I've already decided to be a villain.
He really is the heel of this podcast right now. He's just like,
Well, that's okay. That's okay, because I'm gonna share a song on your profile that's going to make it all better. Hold on.
You know, I don't like to be rickrolled any more than James likes to be called. But here we go.
Called what?
No, you missed it.
Good. Anyway, so, you know, gentlemen, I just want to add that I appreciate this conversation. And
I want to add, did you see the...
What? I can't hear you. What?
I said, I want to add, did you see the end credit scene?
Actually, I didn't. No, I didn't stay for it.
I stayed for it.
What was this? What was the post-credit scene?
Super short. It wasn't anything too big of a fucking deal. I hate you for that, by the way. You're like, oh yeah, stay for the. You know, you're a real fucking dang ass. I was on a date too. Okay.
You're like, yo, babe, we gotta stay for the big poppy. Come on.
It was gonna be underwhelming, and I made sure.
And then it was just like a little fucking text box, and I'm like, and then it just ended,
but what was it? What was the post-credit scene?
It was literally the fucking Riddler's question mark in a text box.
It said goodbye.
What?
Goodbye.
That's dumb. That's fucking dumb.
Granted,
I mean, okay, it's smart, but it's dumb.
As a
No, and it wasn't just a test. It wasn't just the text box. It was that website too that popped up.
Oh well, yeah, and then I don't know if somebody. I still have to look on YouTube for somebody who cares more than I do to find out about that. Yeah, but so gentlemen, you know that Eli, what the fuck?
He's masturbating.
He just comes up like this is him. He's like,
He was masturbating.
Hello. How you
oh. Yeah. All right. So I just want to add that I don't know how what our runtime is looking like, but
he'd come on my post, Eli.
So this is basically bonus content right here. I just want to say, gentlemen, thank you for
Do your classes. I know what you're doing.
Okay.
What am I doing?
See it in your phone.
Okay. All right. Listen. Before we close,
You see nothing.
Before we close out, gentlemen. Okay. Before we close out, any final plugs? So I'm going to give everybody a self-plug spot, including Brandon, the man who decides to order equipment and cancel his order. So,
I want Brandon to start his plug because I feel like we're all very creative, talented individuals, and I say that with much love and respect. I feel Brandon has the capability to do a creative outlet and release it.
When I am ready to do said creative outlet, I will give you information on the
Yeah,
plug.
so I'm just going to cut you off, Brandon. I'm just going to cut you off right here. And I'm gonna let you go ahead and speak.
Eli.
Yeah, I just want to cut you off so
when
I'm gonna cut both of you off. Okay? Because I'm gonna say okay, and I'm gonna let you cut me off, Eli, and then Brandon's gonna cut you off.
Yeah. Sorry, just gonna interject here because Brandon, I want to cut you off so that I could give you the floor.
You're ugly, and I love you. Anyway, what?
This is hell.
Is that your
okay?
plug?
So all right. So your Brandon, that's a very positive and upbeat plug, and I respect you for it.
Hey, listen, it's a compliment and a insult.
All right. So do you have?
Do you have a sandcastle on your nose?
Do you have a said council on your?
Do you have a toupee in your nostrils? Because that's what I can see.
Yes.
Mr. Harry knows. You gotta pluck those.
Well, I'll tell you what.
But
I'd like to do a plug.
Yes.
Gorilla Squadcast. Whoa, bibba bobbity. Come on. Lift up.
I saw. Okay. Now, Brandon Shemesky, before we even get anywhere else, I want Brandon Shemesky, do you at least have an Instagram or something with your art on it that you can plug right now?
My Instagram really has nothing on it. Honestly,
my Instagram.
I got Instagram.
Good morning. All right,
I don't post my Instagram. I don't.
Okay, where do you keep your art? I've seen your art digitally somewhere.
Yeah. Okay, show us your penis.
Yeah, right now. Actually, don't do
Come
that.
on.
Yeah, don't do that. No.
Yo, shows his face. Is that how we get you to show your face?
Yep, that was my you have to watch the podcast to the end to see my face. Yeah.
Okay, so all right, since you have nothing, and since you refuse to share anything, Brandon, that's on you. Okay.
Listen, you can go ahead, plug my Facebook.
I don't know your fucking information. All I know is Brandon. Oh, that's right. It's not even Brandon.
I don't know your
It's not even Brandon. It's some. You know what it is on my phone? You know what it is on my. You know what it is on my phone? It's a bunch of lines. Okay, it's a bunch of lines, and then it's a space bar, and then it's a bunch of lines. Okay, nobody can find you on Facebook. I can't even tag you in anything because.
Is there a way that you could shake your head so much that your hair's flipping? You're moments away from that. Yes, yes.
So
it's like Sal Volcano when he was shaking his head so hard it like fucking flipped. Yo, you changed your names, so it's very difficult to tag you in things.
Yeah, change your name back to actual human being fucking characters for once. That'd be sick.
Odin will forgive you.
Why don't you just, when you edit this, put my name up on the screen for so.
Okay, so I got a news flash for you. I know you're living in the year 2, but people don't have Nordic characters on their keyboards. Okay,
they could get them.
I mean, you're not lying. It is I don't know how to type your name. I have no idea.
Brandon,
well,
please.
These are my friends. You should learn how to do it.
What?
Okay,
wow.
So that's me saying,
pulled the pronoun
Brandon,
thing.
you're my friend, so you should just, you should quit your job and live under a bridge.
Yeah, you should.
I'm not telling you to quit your job. I'm just telling you to learn to spell right.
What is this? Your pronouns now? You go by Nordic symbols? Is that how that works? Because that's not fair. That's like a cheat code. Well, listen. I go by this now. Oh shit!
Yeah. Okay,
According to 2022, I have to abide by that.
So I'm gonna do whatever I can to help you. I'll try to provide a link to your fucked up Facebook because I care for you. But honestly,
right?
I wouldn't do it otherwise because you're an asshole. Right? You should have a better name on your fucking Facebook that more people can tag you and shit. What? Anyway, moving on. I'd love to also have what?
You could put the URL.
Yes, I'm going to put the link.
The
in
URL. He's like he's against entirely making it easy for people. He's like, well, you could just leave a smoke signal.
Yeah, just pray to pray to Odin. Maybe there'll be a some kind of communication.
I heard a high pitched voice.
Put the bat in the sky, and that's how you.
The bat signal, no, because then criminals will be afraid to vandalize and steal and murder.
Yeah, we like criminals here.
What, you want
Brandon. Okay, so Brandon, just moving forward. All right, I'm just gonna post his shit in the fucking description. Moving forward, Eli Legowski, also known as Elijah Illustrates Podcast, full name. His middle name is actually Illustrates. Would you believe? I found that out when I found him on the beach in Normandy when I was 3 years old, and he was 2.
It was a good time.
Yeah. So
I'm pretty
Lotion.
sure middle name's actually Jeremy, but that's just.
Shut the fuck up.
It's John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so. Yeah, so. So, Eli, please take the floor and tell me what you're about, tell me what you do, and what you got coming on the horizon, because I know you got a few things coming.
Okay, so we're hyping up the podcast more now.
Don't forget to talk about your waist size, your shirt size, your eye size. We need to know all of it.
Brandon,
I have eyes the size of quarters.
Doing this. Nobody's going to see this, but you were doing this. You're like,
I don't know what you're talking about. The only one who's doing that right now is you, so.
I'll just post it because I have it recorded.
I want you to know that Brett and I have eye contests where we compare eye sizes and we stare at each other's eyes once in a while. And I usually win because my eyes are the size of trophies. And his eyes are the size of peanuts. Anyways.
Roscato.
Roscato. For all your man-on-man needs, Roscato. Now,
be that way sometimes.
I like how he acts like he's used this once more. I bet you he has.
$20 is $20. You know what I mean?
Well,
right,
it's not even. It's not even. It's like $3. It's like $3 or $4.
Yeah, back when we were like extremely broke. I mean, we're still kind of broke, but we're like not
as
broke.
Here's the thing.
With inflation,
I don't drink.
Probably $20 to be honest.
What?
With inflation the way it is, it's probably $20.
$3 Long Island iced tea for Brandon Szymanski. Right. That's all I have to say.
That's probably true. Well, here's the thing. It was cool working at a liquor store because I could hook you guys up with alcohol. I don't drink, but it's nice being a plug. It's nice getting freebies for friends. So that's cool.
See, but regardless, he's a drug dealer.
I mean, I laugh about that, but that's kind of the truth. I would literally just be like, listen, man, I have this whole weed farm. I don't even smoke. Here you go.
Hey, listen,
the most confusing operation.
So, please, in this moment, it's been working towards this now for like 5 minutes because of all the chaos.
We've been trying to do the plug.
So It's not our fault that Bev Max killed you. Sorry.
Yes.
Correction. Bev Max killed my family. Correction. See, I'm alive.
He's alive. Illustrates. All right. Well, I hope you recover from COVID. Jesus Christ. Eli, hello.
Oh, it looks like
this is how Resident Evil starts, man.
It spreads through the laptop. If I fight the webcam, then you're affected too.
I
don't feel like fighting my webcam.
All right, so just let's get on with it. Tell me what you're about. Tell me what you got happening. Tell me who you are. Tell the people watching and listening who the fuck Elijah
my name is Elijah. I'm 25 years old, and I have breast cancer. No, here's the thing. I'm a salesman, but I'm an inspiring writer, photographer, photo editor. I spend most of my time either writing or just kind of taking. I love taking photos as well and doing photo editing. I'm looking into distributing those this year. Looking into working with a photo lab so I could actually start selling prints. And not do it through myself, because that was kind of what was holding me back before, was the prints. So I'm looking into doing that. I'm also really excited with this computer. With Windows 11, you could actually do this. All you have to do is hit the Windows key and the H key, and you can start using the voice to text pattern. So I've been doing that, because a lot of times I think of stories, but then I have to write it down, and sometimes it gets lost in translation and whatever, hand cramps. But with this, I could just speak, and it's just typing out my words. So I just wrote a 6-page draft of a story I was writing earlier about a police officer who attends this. He gets a call to go investigate this loud noise in the woods. It's like an air horn going off continuously. So the neighbors are like, "What the fuck?" It's 2 in the morning, 2:30 in the morning, and he goes there and he sees this air horn kind of levitating. And then, it just sort of drops, and then it stops. And it kind of fucks with him. And I kind of just writing about the anxiety around that circumstance and kind of playing off different, ideas of what it could have been or what it is. And seeing him kind of mentally deteriorate over time, trying to wrap his mind around that.
So Siren Head got weird in 2022, huh?
What's that?
Siren Head got weird in 2022.
I like because I like the idea too, because it's kind of I like to play off little things with anxiety. What if you're, I don't know, what if you're just laying in bed and then you're really anxious because you feel like you left the oven on and you go downstairs and the oven's not there. But just playing around with that idea of anxiety.
Where would the oven go? Is my question.
What's that?
Where would the oven go?
2 tickets to Mexico.
The oven's
in the basement? I don't know. It travels. It falls through the floor. The whole idea behind humor and anxiety is that's the social, the awkward tension, and that's the scariest thing with writing or with stories. It's not so much the event itself; it's just kind of playing off of it and playing off your mind, because we have these thoughts in our head of just constantly doubting, questioning, being unsure, and that's my writing style. So going back to what I said, releasing more photography, releasing more edits, creating a way to distribute that and sell it. And also doing the writing and dedicating time to that, distributing that. So we're looking to get published this year. We're looking to sell photography this year and push the podcast, which we are going to release an episode as soon as I edit that.
Which also features the 3 of us lovely gentlemen.
Shout out. Features you 2 gentlemen. And it features me too, which is crazy.
Oh, also don't forget about your pornographic hamster collection. You got to plug that too.
Well, yeah, that's a good point. So you see, hamsters. So
I'm gonna have to kick you off the call now. Okay, it's been a pleasure, kinda. No, but
knees weak, arms are heavy. Mom's spaghetti. All right, boys.
That is
James Hudson lights the Big Black Betty.
Yes. So that is spectacular and wonderful.
Tell the Funkio Homo sapien couldn't say it any better.
He once said, "Thou shalt not pass." And Gandalf's just like, "Yo, feel my staff." And he's like, "Whoa, you got a big staff." He's like, "Yeah, I got a big staff." He's like, "God, black, you got such a big staff." Huh?
He is black, so yeah, you're right.
Is that okay to say?
Is it?
Who are you asking? Are you asking God?
I was asking Jesus if we could say that.
Is that okay to say?
I'm waiting on a reply, so let's just sit here for a bit.
Scene. You just look at it. It says scene.
See? Well, it's probably not good then, is it?
You ever think like most prayers are just left on scene?
Oh yeah.
They play out around your reality, and you're like, cool, that's dope. Or they don't, and you're like, cool.
Yeah.
It's, who knows? I like to imagine it's going to be interesting when we return to the void from which we were born from. None of us have memory of it, and there's no way we can contemplate after death because we're seemingly returning to the same place. So certainly that'll be interesting. Wonder if I'll meet some people before they're born and say, hey, crazy place.
Or
so anyway, like James Watanabe, right? That's really like the real question.
Oh shit. Oh shit, James Watanabe.
Yeah. So would you like to plug
he's
that
a fighter.
Too?
Yeah, so James Watanabe is a fighter. I mean, he's fought some people. And recently he fought you. And you guys went to fucking war. I just don't get it. Actually, I do get it. You see, you guys had a bit of an issue where you're both named James. He's named Player James. You're named James. So that kind of started the beef because they're, James.
Who's the real James? That's the question.
It was a fair fight.
Well, I think it's not even like who's... Yeah, right. Like, who is the better James, I guess, right? Because it's not so much an issue of who's first. Although Player James did have beef with King James. What?
Who's the real one, though? That's the question.
That's debatable. All right, so I'm going to have to cut this out. You're really starting to ask provocative questions. I don't need my audience listening to, Brandon.
Yeah, it's true. They don't need this.
Listen, it's not our fault you're a robot.
Yeah. Someone made Mark Zuckerberg take one of those CAPTCHA tests to prove he wasn't a robot.
And he failed.
He failed, didn't he?
I thought he passed.
You lie. Anyway, fake news. So please, I'm sorry. Elaborate on the next chapter of Player James Watanabe.
Well, so I feel like it's worth noting. What?
This is a plug again? Or...
Well, he didn't finish his thought.
Well, no, I mean this is a plug. This is it's a USB-C hub. Okay, so Player James Watanabe, he's fighting James, and now it's an intense fight. I mean, the press conferences were crazy. James is talking all this shit. He's just like, look, I'm a former kickboxing champion. I'm undefeated in MMA. I'm going to run through you. I'm going to plow you like a truck.
Oh, yeah.
It's snowy outside. And Player James just stared confusingly at the crowd because he didn't understand what was going on.
Yeah.
And once in a while would grunt. He'd say, well... And James is like, yeah, you're going to sound like that after the fight, bitch. To which everyone's like, well, that... Yeah,
James,
he already sounds...
James is talking about the porno that's coming out. That's what he's talking about. I don't think they were on the same page.
Player James is never on the right page, so it's kind of an issue. You see, I talk to him sometimes.
Yeah, he's
the other
really
James was talking about the porno because he's
Player
talking
James,
about
Player James is really on the screen. He's a man of sheer will and focus, and he doesn't do anything without being in the spotlight. That's the way.
He's a great actor. Have you ever seen like a closet or like a lamp in any movie?
He plays.
Yeah.
I mean, incredible.
Have you ever,
incredible work.
Have you ever
also,
seen one in real life?
Fun fact. No. Fun fact. He also played Sloth in the Goonies.
Phenomenal job. I mean, he was about 17 at the time.
I mean, not to brag or anything, but like, I was.
How old is he now? Jesus Christ.
In that movie.
He's probably too old to fight. It's probably why he's been losing so much.
Yeah. I mean, not to brag or anything, but I was Sloth's pants in that movie. So like, obviously I gained a little weight now, but
it sounds like you're bragging.
All right. So to wrap this up, I want to thank you, gentlemen, for stopping by to the Gorilla Squadcast today with our first live action recording. And I want to say it's been a pleasure. It's been chaos like it always is with the three of us. And seriously, peep Brandon's stuff that he does sometimes once every decade. I'm going to post it in the fucking description, Brandon. And then I'm gonna, please check out Elijah Illustrates podcast as well. My man goes in. He does his thing. And
I'm gonna be excited if I get like 2 more people that friend request me. That'd be really cool.
and yeah, please stay tuned to all of us. We all are great friends, but going very, very far back. But we also have, specifically me and Eli, until Brandon gets on that train. You know what I mean?
Hey,
Leatherman's Cave.
I'm here, aren't I?
You know, so Eli and I have been pumping out work, and we've been doing our thing. So this is very exciting, and you know, the final thing here, we're gonna do a quick number scale of what you rated Batman compared to the other Batman movies you have seen. Scale of 1 to 10, and then give me a one reason why, and we're gonna go around all of us, and I'll go last.
Who would be like? Is there like a movie that we're basing it off of? So like a 10
No,
version?
it's just you're comparing it to all other Batman films that you've seen.
Oh,
All right, so
Okay.
1 being Twilight, 10 being Forrest Gump.
Sure. Yeah. So why don't we have Brandon go first?
Me first? All right, fine. Let's see. I'd probably give it a. I'd say it definitely gets a 9. It was
Okay.
Wow.
Hey.
Wow, a 9.
For somebody
Wow,
who
that's a
didn't like
big
the
number
song.
for you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. There was a lot of things. I had a lot of criticisms, but overall, the movie has well exceeded my expectations. So
Spectacular. Okay.
Yep.
All right. And that's good. And what was the deciding factor to give you a high rating? Was just the overall.
I'd say was just overall looking at how well done the movie was, and you know I did have like little, but like it's really not that big deal in the grand scheme of all the other bad, and it really just kind of, I think it took a new approach that was different than the other. So I think that's where
I'm just like laughing, trying to keep my laughter in, not because of you, but because Eli is like, he's in the back like this, and he's like.
I'm sorry, I see Brenda just kind of lean back. Well, the reason why I like this movie, I just think it's adorable. Like, in my head, the thought crept in and said, oh, look at how adorable this is. He's all comfortable now. He's got his arm back. This is cute. So cute. Look at him just enjoying himself. Oh, I really enjoy the movie because it's really well done. I like Robert Barry.
I like Twilight. Anyway, so
no, but I respect Brandon's rating.
I do. What was your? What's that?
Twilight gets a 9.5 from me.
I didn't ask for your fucking opinion on Twilight. Okay, so
it's a little bit better than the movie.
Yeah, I agree. The way that Edward Scissorhands just completely murdered Bella's father was great.
Oh my fucking god! All right, so Eli, what was your rating of Batman, man?
Oh. He does the Jaws of life. He just rips open the car. I'm the empty unseen. Where's your baby? Sorry. Anyways, so
my apologies.
Okay. I'd say I give it a 4 out of 10 because there's always room for improvement.
Oh.
Yeah. No, I mean, clearly it's not true. But you see, we talked about how Twilight's 1. Twilight is 1, and I don't know if you know this, Robert Pattinson was in Twilight. So this is technically closer to Twilight than it is Forrest Gump, because he's in fact not in Forrest Gump.
So nobody's going to tell him that it's not Robert Patterson. It's Robert Pattinson. Go ahead. Sorry.
That's crazy. Well, anyways. I mean, honestly, if I were to rank it, I would give it... I mean, there was a few things I think could have been better. Like the Riddler, to me, it was reminiscent of how they did the Joker and Heath Ledger in the Dark Knight. Between the villains, I liked the Joker better. I never really loved the Riddler. I felt uncomfortable with the Riddler. I feel like I just didn't want to be in the same room as him.
Like the character of the Riddler.
Yeah.
You didn't like the Riddler?
I loved.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Okay, I appreciate the way the actor presented the Riddler.
Yeah.
I didn't really like the Riddler, though. I felt like it's hard to sit through his fucking whale noises. That's kind of my thing.
immediately gives you the downvote is just the that noise is in that particular scene. Yeah.
What?
The noise in that particular scene really just doesn't do it for you, huh? It really
No,
just
it's throughout the
ruins
movie. I mean, just his attitude. Like, I feel like him doing the scenes where he submits it to the, like, he's dressed up with the mask. That was very much like, that was very reminiscent of Heath Ledger's Joker, but I felt it wasn't as good. I felt like his, because don't get me wrong, I love the movie.
Hold on. We are missing an integral part of the movie right now. What about the Penguin?
That's a good point. He's a very good Penguin.
Oh, you're fucking right, dude. Okay, I love the Penguin. I thought he did great. I loved the Penguin.
This whole fucking podcast.
You're fucking right.
You're right.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
Like Christopher. Wait. It was.
Sorry.
What was his name? The actor's name. I forgot his name. Help.
Is he the guy from The Sopranos? Right? No.
I think you're right. I think he was in The Sopranos.
But like the
he was great.
It was amazing.
Oh, it was amazing. No, he was great. And I like that.
I couldn't even tell that it was him.
Dude, remember when fucking they're harassing him about being the Bat, and he's just like, I hate to be the guy to tell you don't know Spanish. Bravo. And I'm watching that like, damn, yeah, I guess the fucking investigators are pretty
stupid.
But he was.
It took Penguin to figure that out, though. Like, it took him. He was a tiny bit smarter than.
At that moment, Batman looked very silly. Like a guy dressed up in a bat costume seemed extra odd in that moment.
He's like looking at him. He's like, "This is crazy."
What? I learned Spanish in high school.
You're a fucking idiot.
Yeah, that was great. No, and like. They were so pissed they left him tied up and drove away. I'm like, that's right. Petty. See, this is the problem with police. They'll do that shit.
Yeah.
God.
Don't get too on the nose now. Come on now.
We've been very on the nose. Anyway.
Very, very. Yeah. No, but you're right. You brought up a good point. Penguin, I feel like I liked him better than the Riddler.
See, and you were about to end this podcast without even mentioning.
Because it's I kept focusing on the Riddler because I was like,
there's no excuse.
I'm just thinking about the editing. I'm sitting here like listening to you guys, and I'm like thinking about all the editing I'm gonna have to do to restructure all of this shit to make it actually be cohesive.
That's gonna be great. Well, I'll tell you what.
You gotta leave.
The thing
is, this, like towards the end though, just like we've been talking this whole podcast without even mentioning.
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, okay, Falcone I thought was a great actor. I thought he was very intense. He had that very kind of calm but evil demeanor. Penguin was just so charismatic and funny, and like, I liked his demeanor. I'll be honest, one thing I was surprised about, Batman at the beginning beats this group of kids mercilessly, right? This group of like gang members. But when he finds out Falcone is probably responsible for the death of his parents, he's like, okay, I'm not gonna hurt him. I'm just rest time. Yeah.
That's why
that kind of surprised me.
The Tool song could have kicked in, and then he could have gone on a whale. He could have the Tool song could have kicked in, and then he could have gone on a whaling spree on Falcone, and it would have been that whole scene would have been long.
I'm actually really surprised he didn't wail on Falcone. Like I get it's a good narrative position to show like strength in his character and say to overcome hatred and vengeance. I get that. I do. From a movie aspect, I didn't want to see that. I wanted to see him just be like, you make my dad die! You make my dad die!
Would you have beaten up Falcone if you were in his position?
Oh, we're talking about me. Here's the thing. I'm not a kind of violent guy.
Pretend you're Batman. Pretend your family was killed, and pretend that you just found out that this was the guy who kind of like orchestrated it slightly.
Yeah, I suppose if I was Batman and I was Robert Patterson and I was also Elijah Illustrates, I'd probably be like, wow, I need to do some photo editing. But first, Falcone needs to die.
Okay, so...
What about you, James? Pattinson.
Exactly. I
Would
was
you,
about to say. I think we got the gist at this point.
No, would you kill Falcone?
Yeah.
Or would you just let him do the dance?
I would off his ass so quick. You have no idea. Anyway.
Right? Like, guys, am I wrong? Am I wrong in saying that it was almost kind of disappointing to see, like, I know it was smart decision from a morality standpoint, but he's vengeance. Like, this dude, like, he wrecks people throughout the film, and the one guy that's caused them all this damage, he finds out, and then he just doesn't really react to it. He's just kind of...
Did Falcone get, like, the just desserts in the end, or no?
He got
shot.
He got shot in the head.
But it was by the Riddler,
which is good. Oh, also, I wanted to mention real quick that the Riddler was like a very good he was a villain, but if you really think about it, like
anti-hero.
Yeah, he very much did pull out all the corruption. You know what I mean?
Yes.
He did it for the wrong. He did it for the right reasons, but wrong
way.
Well, up until he flooded the city, right? When he was killing certain officials.
Although I would have done it.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Okay, when he was killing certain officials, it was an anti-hero move. But then when he started flooding the city, it was now you're kind of villain territory.
It's because he was losing.
I want to see the day after tomorrow in real life. So flooding a city, why not?
I mean, to be fair, being an orphan, I can imagine having an eternal hatred for that nihilism of not having a family and being unwanted and then growing up in that kind of system. I could see the nihilism there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and also, Batman is afraid of water, so
is he?
His weakness there right then. Yeah, he can't swim.
How does he shower?
Okay.
Yeah.
He can't swim.
All right, so gentlemen,
that's a whack superhero. Hey, let's go in my swimming pool. No,
gentlemen, let me also
scared of precipitation.
I would give the movie probably a 10 out of 10 for me. It was perfectly executed in almost every way, and
wow,
it was an 11 out of 10 for you. I get it.
Yeah. So
that's not the scale, but anyway,
glass ceilings.
It was exceptional, and I'm very happy I went to go see it and experience it.
I want you to point out a flaw. Tell me something wrong with the movie.
I can hear your nostrils.
Wait, put it up to the mic so you can hear me talk.
Okay. All right.
That's how it sounds when I sleep.
So, and I will say it was flawless, but maybe one
100%.
thing that I would probably change would be, I think it was just, and maybe I just had a lapse in my judgment or memory, but I don't remember seeing the change in Batman, as a prominently displayed thing, where he went from, beating the shit out of people to I saw the change happen, but I didn't really see a catalyst that made a change so much.
Randomly in a way.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of my gripe about him not beating up Falcone. It's just that didn't seem to make sense to me how this bombshell was dropped and he was just it's okay. He was sad, but he wasn't really he never really did anything about it. He never addressed that, it never got brought up again.
Yeah,
it wasn't very organic to the way the story was going, I thought.
That was it. I mean, I'm not trying to shit on it. I'm just saying, that did surprise me with the level of control he had in that.
Mm-hmm.
True. Well, gentlemen, I'd like to. I'm just gonna reshoot our plug here. So, take two. So, because it was extremely long, drawn out, interrupted, and a lot of other things. So we're gonna just do a second take on our plugs here. It's gonna be a lot more simplified. So, thank you for tuning into the Gorilla Squadcast today. I am your host, James, also known as Strider. This is our very first live-action Gorilla Squadcast episode, and I'm extremely proud and excited to share this space with my dear friends Brandon Szymanski and Elijah Illustrates Podcast. That's his full name. And I will be posting Brandon. See, he's done some art, and I'm going to be posting his Facebook. I'm going to be posting his Facebook below, and I'm going to be posting his Facebook below. And after that, I will be. I muted him.
Your audio was too bad.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Was it bad, Eli?
do you mean? What do you mean?
So helpful, thank you.
It's so bad to me.
Like,
Brady, your audio cuts off and on, but his sounded okay just now.
Okay, so
Shut up. To me, it was bad.
all right, this is the final take.
All right.
Do not interrupt, please. Thank you.
Well, if your audio doesn't shit the bed, then
Okay. There's gonna be I'm gonna upload a blooper video of this chaos and just cut out all this in between content. And okay.
Do it, pussy. Gargle on them nuts. I got cashews in my pocket. Didn't finish.
So anyway, I'd like to conclude. Yeah, you gotta ask.
he doesn't know that. Oh yes,
I can't believe that just happened. I feel violated. Okay,
Yeah, well,
I'd like to make a
I
formal
just want
complaint.
you to understand who the dick in the room is right now. Okay.
Wow.
All right, so please, gentlemen, final take. Thank you for tuning in to Strider's Gorilla Squadcast. I'm your host, James, also known as Strider. I was very fortunate to be joined in live action for the very first time by my dear friends Brandon Szymanski and Elijah Legowski, also known as Elijah Illustrates. This has been an exceptionally fun episode to be on and shoot and record. And I have to say, Brandon is an artist, and so is Eli in many forms. And so am I, of course, and basically I want to plug them right now. So Brandon, he can speak for himself, of course, but I'm going to also plug his link to his Facebook, and you can see some of the art he does. He's an exceptionally talented artist into the description of this podcast. Now, moving on to Eli here, I would like to also say the man is a podcaster, of course, and he is also a very talented writer and just a very big personality, very comedic, and he's just always on point with what he does pretty much most of the time, if not all the time. So, my man, both of you, appreciate you guys being here, and anything you guys would like to say to close out our episode today.
I mean, if only Eli wasn't so ugly, he'd probably be better.
Well, Brandon, here's the thing. All right, when you look at a puddle, you find gold. And I'm going to say, you have a puddle of a personality right there, but I find gold in you.
See, Brandon didn't have anything nice to say.
That's almost sweet. Almost.
Brandon.
Yeah. So, anyways, I'd like to plug to the photography that I'm doing.
Yes.
I like to do landscape, macro. My big gripe with a lot of photography is that it's just people taking photos of other people smiling, or just of people in general. I tend to find that photography very nuanced. It's just run of the mill. I like to take things out of focus, things that don't really have an explanation. As much as nature photography, you could argue is nuanced, I think it's exceptional. I think nature is just the most beautiful thing out there. But I do like to take photos of things that are kind of harder to explain, things that don't have a description, things that are very thought-provoking. That's kind of the meaning behind my art, is I'd like to create things where people leave questioning it. And thus I also like to take photos and edit them as well. I've always been kind of set back by not understanding how to properly time my posts. How many photos do I share one week? How many photos do I share in a single day? But I'm really stressing kind of putting out more content this year as far as writing, photography, podcasting. So alongside being on the podcast here, it's been fun. All aboard the hype train. Yeah. Toot toot.
So yeah, and I will also be popping in. The viewers and listeners will be hearing also a little tidbit of Eli's information on his next episode of his podcast, which is also featuring the three of us, keep in mind.
It's true.
On Elijah Illustrates podcast, which will also be linked down below. And
it's true.
Brandon,
I was there.
Yes, Brandon, you have any closing thoughts?
I was held against my will. Please help me.
So we have to actually cut it short now, and for no reason at all. It's been a blast.
Hey.
It's gonna be a good thumbnail. Anyway, I'd like to thank you, gentlemen, for being here. It's been a blast, and osteoporosis, and those of you that enjoyed this will see more of this on Elijah Illustrates podcast on his next episode.
And the next
Merry
episode,
Christmas.
I shit my pants.